Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is Christian DeBouche. It is Sunday, May 18th. It's a very hot and muggy Sunday. In fact, it's closer to about 7:30 p.m., so the day is almost over. Just gonna go downstairs and check on the pool. So this is capping off the end of, I won't call it tumultuous because there are other agents that deal with a lot worse. But this has been the end of a trying week. So continuing with the drama with our inspection report. So they came back asking for an extension, a second extension to the inspection period of 7 days. And I was like, of course, hell no, that's ridiculous. You asked for 5, we gave you 5. Long story short, I feel like either the other buyer's agent isn't having a good relationship with their client, or they're being led astray by their contractor. Essentially, long story short, each time the inspection report, we had an issue with, we said, hey, it's not enough information, it's too overbroad, you're asking for too much. We would hear, oh, the contractor's going to charge us if we ask them to go over it again. And me being a New Yorker, I'm trying to hold down my condescension. I'm like, well, that's a you problem, not an us problem. You asked for an extension, we gave it to you. Your estimates are broad. We don't understand what we gave in concessions for, if at all, and why we'd have to in general. This is an income producing property. You can just pay for it through the rent. But long story short, we go back and forth. We give them 3 extra days. So Tuesday would be, well, I guess Tuesday, May 20th would be the final extension of the inspection period. My client signed, they signed, and essentially they just want to know how much the cost of the repairs are. This being a new build, I've been trying not to tell the buyer's agent how to do her job, but this home is under warranty. So essentially, if there's an issue, we can just contact the builder. They're asking for us to contact the builder. And I had a conversation with the lender and I said, would that gum up the works? If we're starting a claim, is there a chance that could stop the funding process? And the lender, then they don't want to be involved. Their answer is maybe yes, maybe no. So we don't want to do that for obvious reasons. They become the new owners. If we close, they can go ahead and do that process. They're asking for concessions and etc. for a multitude of reasons. And I just don't know if the agent is new to the game, new to this type of, this aspect of real estate, or more likely than not, has a client that they can't necessarily control or set the proper expectations for. And none of those are my problem or my job, but they're the transactions problem, which makes them my problem, because it could be a situation where, it blows up the deal. And I don't want that. I'd like to get paid for the hard work I'm doing. I brought multiple offers to this property. This was the best so far. And if it falls apart, it falls apart. I just don't want it to. So yeah, that's just been stress on my mind. And again, it's stress that comes with any aspect of real estate. You're going to deal with this. This is not the worst story I've heard, but it's the worst story I've gone through so far. And it's not even the property that I'm expecting the most headaches from. It just happens to be the one that's giving me the most. So yeah, that is how my Saturday ended. I had 2 open houses this weekend at a beautiful condo. In general, I'm trying to expand into the higher end condos in general, because they're not facing the same problems that older, more antiquated condos are facing in terms of assessments, HOA issues, etc. But we only had 3 visits this whole weekend on Saturday and Sunday combined. So it wasn't necessarily a good use of my time. I got to read, do some podcast stuff, but I like to do open houses to meet people, buyers and their clients. So yeah. Plus, in this situation, the HOA was kind of fighting, because I found out after, as I was leaving, I was just chit-chatting with the gate guard, that, he had turned away several people because the strict HOA rules require that guests be announced. And I'm like, how's a guest going to be announced for an open house? They're like, well, you got to figure that out. They have to call you or call the owner. I'm like, that is ridiculous. So there could have been more people attending. And again, it's a nice neighborhood, nice condo, maybe 20 years old, so everything's up to date. But ridiculous guard work, stopping people from coming in. I mean, I've had issues when I go to do open houses or attend open houses that are in HOA communities, and sometimes as a Karen that's an HOA president, sometimes it's the guard stopping people from coming in if it's a guard gated community. It's hit or miss. And the rules, once you get someone interested in an HOA, a home or a condo in an HOA community, they could read the HOA agreement. They were like, oh, hell no, I'm not dealing with that nonsense. So that stuff happens. So definitely a mixed bag, but I fully believe that, or I hope, the buyer is still committed to the property because they keep throwing up all these objections, but they're not trying to get the property. They're just trying to get it for cheaper. They initially wanted a $32,000 concession, which we brought down to $15,000 because we were like, why? And then once they couldn't justify why, they said, well, how about 15? Or I'm like, how about nothing? How about you just tell us what you need and why you need it, and then we can discuss it. And that's been the headache that we're dealing with. So yeah, that's how my Sunday's ending. I hope this week ends up being a little bit better. Thanks for staying along on this journey, dealing with my sweaty ass during this muggy day. I like it because we had rain earlier, but it's still hot. Anyway, apologize for the rant. Thanks so much for listening. This is a random realtor talking about what he's doing every day of the week. So yeah, enjoy your day. Talk to you later.